I'll describe 3 core strategic ideas from the board game Terraforming Mars. Strategic idea number 1. Cards. Efficient. Synergies. Abundant. The cards are almost always more efficient than the standard actions. In some cases, the savings are pretty insane. Consider Giant Ice Asteroid. You get 2 temperature increases and place 2 oceans for a cost of 36 megacredits plus 3 megacredits to draft the card for a total cost of 39 megacredits. To do that with standard actions would cost 64 megacredits, and you get to wipe out somebody's plants.
Deep thought. Use the standard actions to quantify things. A greenery tile costs 23 mega euros, or 8 plants. 1 plant must be worth about 3 mega euros. A bit less really, 2.5. There are other ways to think about this, but mine is written on the board, so you don't have to remember it.
Other times the savings are minor. Consider Convoy from Europa. You pay a total of 18 megacredits to place an ocean, the same price as the standard action, but you do get a card as well.
When deciding to buy a card, don't forget the 3 megacredit cost to buy it.
Savings tend to increase if you find synergies between cards. Consider Deep Well Heating. You get a temperature increase and an energy production for a total cost of 16 megacredits. These 2 benefits cost a total of 25 megacredits using standard actions, but energy production is like expensive slow motion heat production, so you might not care about it very much. Now consider Domed Crater. If I pay 11 megacredits for the needed energy production, this card becomes very expensive relative to the standard city action, and scoring a point in the early game isn't important enough to justify playing the card. However, if I use the nearly free energy production from Deep Well Heating to help pay for Domed Crater, then I picked up a couple extra income, 3 plants, and a point, which is pretty good because I only paid 2 megacredits more than the standard action.
Should you play a city in the early game, you might want the megacredit income or to build greenery around it.
Neither Deep Well Heating nor Domed Crater are particularly compelling when taken alone, but they make each other better. In general, the more cards you play, the more synergies emerge. Steel and titanium enable you to play more cards.
You can't count on drawing building and space tags every generation.
Research Outpost makes all future cards cheaper, and it puts an animal on pets. Any card with a science tag helps you play great late game cards like anti-gravity technology.
Only 1 in 6 cards has a science tag.
Energy production might help you terraform every single generation. Iron can place oceans, and now oceans make plants. And so on and so forth. You simply can't list all the ways that cards depend on and strengthen each other. Not all the cards I've shown are premium cards, but they become premium cards if you have the right set of cards to go with them. Almost any card is worth playing if you have the right cards to pair with it. In summary, without cards, you'll have to take standard actions, which are almost always less efficient than a card that does something similar. So where do we get cards? You get an option to buy 10 cards at the start of the game. You also get an option to buy 4 cards each generation during the research phase. There are a few ways to get extra cards, like placement bonuses and cards that provide cards, but still, the 10 cards you consider during setup are a fair fraction of the cards you'll see in an entire game. It's also the only time you'll see enough cards at once to consider a range of synergies between them. Based on these facts, you might want to keep about anything. However, the 3 megacredit cost per card really adds up. Buying a bunch of cards for your starting hand seriously delays your economic development. If you buy most of the cards you were dealt during setup, you might not have any money to play them, and your income will remain low in the second and even the third rounds. Even so, if the game goes on long enough, you'll probably win.
10 cards in my hand, I sort them in dismay. She played Giant Ice Asteroid, I'm broke.
Alternatively, if you keep only 1 or 2 excellent cards for your starting hand and play them immediately, you'll get off to a stronger start. But you'll rarely draw the exact cards you want during the research phase, and you might never play enough cards to develop meaningful synergies. Perhaps you'll need to play standard actions, but they aren't as efficient as the cards you didn't buy. How many cards should you buy during setup? The answer to this question largely sets your strategy for the rest of the game, and there's no universally right answer. It depends on your opponents, your cards, and your play style. Let's learn more. Strategic idea number 2. Standard actions. Flexible and fast. I just said the cards are always better, right? Not always. The standard actions enable you to do everything you need to do to terraform the planet. That's what we're doing in this game. It's even written on the box. The three primary standard actions give you Terraform rating, which are both points and income in future rounds. Perhaps 14 megacredits for a temperature increase isn't a great return, but I'm increasing my income every generation.
Terraform rating equals a point plus 1 megacredit income.
I can reinvest my increased income in future rounds to get more points and more income. That's compound interest, and it adds up. Further, while players who only play cards might gain some extra efficiency, they are slaves to their cards. They can only do what their cards let them do. Sometimes it's very valuable to do the right thing at the right time. Sure, your card's efficient, but paying 18 megacredits to place an ocean got me 2 plants and 2 megacredits, which allowed me to play a greenery tile, which got me 2 more plants and 4 megacredits thanks to my ocean. Oh, and look, now I'm increasing the temperature too. I've spent 12 megacredits net. I've increased my income by 3 megacredits every generation and racked up 4 points. Oh, and look, now I have 3 greenery tiles. Next turn, I'll get 5 more points for 8 megacredits. Who's efficient now, huh? Look, a perfect setup like this isn't always available, but if it is, use a standard action to claim it. Never say you didn't have the right card when the perfect action was printed on the board. The truth is, you can terraform the planet much faster using standard actions than you can using cards. 4 players using Corporate Era and Prelude might terraform the planet and end the game in 6 generations, using, primarily, standard actions.
If everyone plays fast, your 4-player game will last about 6 generations. If everyone plays slow, your 4-player game will last about 10 generations.
I published an example game that only lasts 3 generations. While the scores in such fast games will be low compared to more typical games, the fast player will likely win against an opponent whose card-driven game plan assumed the game would go on for 10 or more generations. Strategic idea number 3. Play fast, play slow. Don't be a tweener. You can win by playing slow. You'll build up a big hand of cards early. You might even score the planner milestone.
At 3 megacredits times 16 cards, the planner milestone represents a massive investment, but it might work out if most of the cards get played.
You'll tend to play sequences of cards that work well together. Early on, you'll try to build up income. On top of money income, you'll want steel, titanium, and energy to help you play a lot of cards. You'll save up cards that have points on them so that you can play them in the last few rounds of the game. You might look for cards that build up resources for even more points. You'll mostly terraform when you have cards that make it cheap. If your opponents are trying to end the game early, you might avoid terraforming, particularly on the scale where they're having trouble.
Deny them terraform rating. If they have lots of heat production, increase the temperature.
Or you can win by playing fast. You'll only buy cards that help you terraform the planet. And you won't buy cards that you can't play this generation or at least next generation. You won't buy a card unless you already have everything you need to make it work. You compare every card to the standard action it would replace. You love money and plant income. Heat income is okay too, but titanium and steel are unnecessary. If you don't draw good cards, you'll just put them back and use standard actions. You'll focus on getting value from placement bonuses, and you might build an early city in an optimal location to do so. You'll have 3 greenery tiles before slower players, so you'll take the gardener milestone. You're also in competition for terraformer and even mayor.
Sometimes, even cities make sense, like when you have no cards.
What you don't do is take the best of both approaches. The slow approach works because you have enough cards to find great combinations. And you'll have a big tableau of cards, which will enable huge turns in the late game. The fast approach works because you end the game before the slow player gets those huge turns. The tweener approach loses to both the fast and the slow. You need to pick a side, and you need to do so before you decide what and how many cards to buy during setup. Will it be a long game full of amazing card combos and huge scores? Or perhaps you prefer a shorter game, free from corporate waste, that efficiently terraforms the planet? Either way, you aren't alone. Your opponents will have their own thoughts, and the more opponents you have, the faster you'll need to play.